Hey, what's up? A-Aron here, and I am going to do another Tori Holub doing a Karen Carpenter, is my understanding. And this came from a request from Joe Spiegel, who bought me a few coffees from Buy Me a Coffee. So thank you, Joe. With the comment, it's been too long. I see classic songs. Here's Tori Holub and Dan Wesley doing a Perry Como classic, and it's impossible. So, I know the song, but not well, if I'm being honest. And as you saw from the last time I covered Tori and Karen Carpenter, is I don't know Karen's voice inside and out. And my apologies, but I'm being asked to do this, and I'm happy to. And I thought that she sounded brilliant. I thought she emulated Karen, in a lot of ways. Yeah, maybe it's not a complete one-to-one, right? And I don't think that's what I was necessarily going for in my last reaction to her, but I don't think that was necessarily her intention either. I think she was trying to emulate the sound and her phrasing and her vibrato and so forth, right? And so I don't know Karen's version of doing It's Impossible, but I'm gonna do my best to try to represent what I can in terms of the comparison with Karen Carpenter. But 95% of what this is going to be is just how Tori sounds.
Surprise!
Because I don't have that comparison super well. Now, if this continues and you keep buying me things saying, please do reactions, then I'll take a step back and I think I'll do a deep dive and really try to understand, Karen Carpenter more. But I'm not going to blow smoke in your faces and in terms of what I do or don't know. I'm going to primarily be reacting to Tori here and with Dan Wesley. So let's dive in.
It's impossible. Tell the sun to leave the sky. It's just impossible. It's impossible. Ask a baby not to cry. It's just impossible. Can I hold you closer to me and not feel you going through me? Split the second that I never think of you. Oh, how impossible. Can the ocean keep from rushing to the shore? It's just impossible. If I had you, could I ever want for more? It's just impossible. And tomorrow, should you ask me for the world, somehow I'd get it.
Okay, so I think that's a good point to stop. So first things first, kind of a little bit more context that I feel I just realized I failed to mention is, it says here in the video, back in 1974, the Carpenters appeared on the Perry Como TV show where they sang a medley of each other's hits. We got to hear Karen sing one verse of this beautiful song. I instantly wondered what it would have sounded like if she had recorded the full song. So with the aid of the super talented voice of Tori Holub, we recorded this version. And so I think what I'll do is I'll do you the favor and maybe I'll go listen to Karen singing that verse if it's available after I do initial reaction, maybe do comparisons of what I thought versus what I hear or otherwise. But let's continue from this perspective. And so, first of all, Tori sounds beautiful, and the accompaniment sounds wonderful as well. I love the intro. And this is in the classic Perry Como variation. I don't know if I know the lyrics perfectly to know if there's anything changed there, but it sounds like it's identical. And I think um, the arrangement is very close, if not identical, as well. Now that said, I think what Laurie's doing here is very reminiscent of what you hear Karen Carpenter doing in terms of some of the things that I talked about at the beginning, right? Her phrasing, her enunciation of words, even so much as her vibrato. Now, I think there's some aspects of the fall off of the vibrato Karen Carpenter, if I'm hearing it correctly, that may not perfectly match Tori here. But it certainly is not that I've heard a ton of Karen Carpenter impressions, but she's one of those voices that is tough to duplicate and cover here, right? And so I think that's one of the things that's so fascinating about Tori doing this, is that she's doing a fantastic job of reproducing a lot of the things that make Karen Carpenter special. Now, it's not an identical voice one for one, and so we see that, but she does sound a lot like her. Um, yeah, I mean, this is wonderful. Let's continue.
I would sell my very soul and not regret it, for to live with.
Actually, I'm gonna take this slightly differently. Since it was one verse, let's do it slightly differently. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna find the recording, and then with you, I'm gonna do reaction to Karen Carpenter of doing it, and then we'll go back to Tori. I think that'll be fun. Why not? Let's have some fun with this. Okay, I think I have what we're looking for here, so let's jump in.
It's impossible. Tell the sun to leave the sky. It's just impossible. It's impossible.
So same key. The intros and the instrumentation is a bit different, but let's listen to that very first It's Impossible. I think it starts right at the beginning.
It's impossible.
Yeah, I mean the enunciation of the word and how they pronounce the syllables and the phrasing and even the vibrato, the duration of the vibrato is dang near identical.
It's impossible. Tell the sun to leave the sky. Tell the sun to leave the sky. It's just impossible. It's just impossible.
Yeah, even down to the vocal fry. Now you do hear some subtleties in terms of that. It's in like the beginning of that phrase. I mean, there's some differences there for sure, but she is doing a fantastic job. I mean, literally, now we're going back and forth, right?
It's impossible. It's impossible. Ask a baby not to cry. Ask a baby not to cry. It's just.
Yeah, so I think Tori elongated Bay, for baby a little bit longer, maybe slightly, but it's just she's clearly emulating the exact same. I must have found the right one.
Just impossible. It's just impossible.
Okay, so some differences there, but it sounds the same. I feel like the amplitude, Tori actually grew a little bit, not only louder, but I feel like a little bit more in your face with the impossible than Karen, which actually I like better if I'm being honest.
It's just impossible. Just impossible.
Yeah, I feel like Karen didn't play with the dynamics as much.
And tomorrow, should you ask me for the world, somehow I get it.
And I it's I mean Karen The instrumentation is obviously a choice, but I feel like maybe they should have tried to reproduce some of the same instrumentation, because you get a very different feel with that lower bass in the mix here that we don't hear with just a piano accompaniment.
I would sell my very soul and not regret it. For to live without your love is just impossible. Split the second that I never think of you. Oh, how impossible. Can the ocean keep from rushing to the shore? It's just impossible. If I had you, could I ever want for more? It's just impossible. And tomorrow, should you ask me for the world, somehow I'd get it. I would sell my very soul and not regret it.
Beautiful.
For to live without your love, it's just impossible. Can the ocean keep from rushing to the shore? It's just impossible. If I had you, could.
So we got the backing vocals there. We've got Dan, but then also another version of her, and it sounds beautiful. That doesn't match what we have from what we saw, but keep in mind that they said that that Karen only did the single verse, and they're obviously doing the full expanded song and trying to anticipate what she would have done with the full thing. So.
Could I ever?
And by the way, we saw with another Tori cover of Carpenters, and I learned from some response that collage was actually almost created by the Carpenters originally. They did some of that stuff, which is fascinating. So the fact that she's including that here does seem reminiscent of what the Carpenters would do.
Ever want for more? It's just impossible. And tomorrow,
there we go.
Should you ask me for the world, somehow I'd get it.
Oh, Dan sounds beautiful.
Regret it. For to live without your love is just impossible. It's impossible.
Oh, I think we restarted.
Tell the sun to leave. I would sell my very soul and not regret it. For to live without your love, it's just impossible.
So well done.
Impossible.
Ooh, that was beautiful.
Impossible.
Well done. Well done. Such a joy to listen to her. I definitely, look forward to what Tori's going to do more of, because she is obviously incredibly talented, and I will have to probably check out more of what she's doing. Thanks again, Joe. I hope this satisfied you. Again, this is a little outside my comfort zone in terms of knowing the Carpenters, but that's okay. I mean, I've reacted to many people, groups, artists, and so forth that I don't know. And this is a little bit unique from that perspective, though, because she's trying to cover and trying to reproduce the sound, not to actually do a cover of her own rendition, but trying to sound like the other artists. So, that's why it's a little bit of a stretch, and I'm doing my best from that perspective. But, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. And I got a quick message here, and outside of that, we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you. If you're a big fan of A-Aron Reacts, I've got exciting news for you today. You can head on over to a-aronreacts.com. We'll go ahead and link to it here so you can get directly there and check out the description for more information. You can go ahead and get access to videos before they're released, and there are many available right now on that. So go ahead and check that out.